So I would now like to introduce our wonderful chefs, Galia and Shanice Sarner. Galia loves food. To lead us in the culinary workshop, they'll be preparing two amazing recipes to celebrate Tu B'Shvat, roasted cauliflower and a Tu B'Shvat salad. So take it away, Galia and Shani. Actually, first I'm going to give a little brief bio. I apologize. So, Galia and Shani are the co-founders of Galia Loves Food, the Toronto-based startup specializing in Israeli culinary treats made locally. So first I'll tell you a little bit about Galia. Born in Jerusalem, Galia is an Israeli food maven. At a young age, she began cooking with her mother, who's actually joining us on this Zoom call, so shout out to Sapta, as she developed an insatiable interest in culinary matters. Today, after having refined her gastronomic skills in Paris, Galia, with her daughter Shani, shares her passion for and expertise with Israeli food with a growing number of people in Toronto and around the world. So we're now spreading you to the United States. So hopefully you'll get more calls after this, also throughout the world. Through her culinary workshops, catering, and her blog, which is really amazing, and I'll send a link for it, called Galia Loves Food. I'd encourage you to check that out. And Shani Sarner Leti was born in Paris. Shani grew up in Israel, where she received her BA in interior design. Since moving to Toronto in 2016, she's developed a successful independent practice as an interior designer for private clients. At the same time, she also plays a central role in the growth of Galia Loves Food through her involvement in developing new dishes, the aesthetic presentation of products, and the digital marketing. And also, just to let you know, they have an amazing Instagram feed. So do check out Galia Loves Food on both Instagram and on the blog. And it's now my pleasure and my honor to turn it over to Galia and Shani to lead us in our workshop. Just to let you know, as they do their cooking, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat and I'll read them out to Galia and Shani as they cook. Take it away, Galia and Shani.
Wow, that was really, really beautiful. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for your kind words. Welcome, everybody. We're actually very excited, Shani and I, to have you at our home. Happy Tu B'Shvat, Chag Tu B'Shvat Sameach, everyone, actually all over the globe. We see some familiar faces and, of course, some new beautiful faces. And was really, truly excited to share with you our passion and love for Israeli food, and especially when it comes to Tu B'Shvat. Shani?
Thank you for joining us. And like we said, we're going to start cooking together. Feel free to ask questions on the chat. We'll be glad to answer, help you. And if not, if we do miss something, we're always on social media. So feel free to message us or just follow us and see more recipes and more dishes because we do post and share a lot. So let's start.
So maybe just actually before we start, we want to thank you because you truly brought the sunshine from Miami and also from Israel. It's snowing -7, but the sun is shining. -10, even more. The sun is shining, blue sky, beautiful. So thank you for the inspiration. Anyhow, I know that Bonnie, and also I want also to extend, I would thank also to Tamar. I know that Tamar had to go emergency back to Israel. So Shani and I are very much looking forward in the near future to meet you guys in person, you, Bonnie, and Tamar, and have you over for Friday night dinner in our own style. Anyhow, what we're going to do today? Today we're going to do two dishes that very much, in many ways, very much reflects for us our own Tu B'Shvat. I myself, actually, I was born in Jerusalem. Shani was born in Paris. But I was born literally. I grew up in the first 8 years of my life. I grew up right at the heart of Machne Yehuda market, which is the market in Israel. And I think it's maybe one of the most beautiful markets in the world. And we decided also to devote and to actually to name it literally our cauliflower dish. We decided actually to call it Machne Yehuda cauliflower, and you're going to see very, very soon why. The next item, the next dish that we're going to make is actually our colorful and I would say in many ways very kind of like beautiful with flavor and harmony of colors. It's called Tu B'Shvat salad. but maybe we're going to have kind of a very, very brief, and we're going to have a look at all the beautiful displays that we have, which we try actually to bring the market here to our island. So I don't know, most of you have the recipe in front of you, but we're going to have kind of like a very small, like very, very brief introduction. We have most of the products that we buy. Most of the products that we buy, we try, Shani and I, to use as much as we can organic ones. But of course, it's not a must. It's recommended. The most important is that the ingredients will be fresh. Don't always go to the most expensive one, but make sure they're fresh and they also look nice to you. Anyhow, we have organic arugula. We have za'atar, which is an Israeli spice, and I'm sure you know what is that. It's kind of like a combination, it's a combo of different spices, mainly come from the north part of Israel, from the Galil.
Bonnie, do you
Yes.
mind just making us, sorry for pausing, but
Co-hosts?
yes, just
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, better, because that way we see what you guys can see better.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, can you continue?
Yeah.
We have sumac. Sumac is actually, for those of you who do not know, sumac is actually, it's a bush. But at the old days, it wasn't preserved. And it's kind of like a very lemony, very beautiful flavor it has. By the way, we use it also for dessert, but you're going to see what we're going to do with it. We have roasted pineapple. Can you see the camera? Can you see everything? Yeah?
Yes, beautiful.
We have pomegranate seeds. Of course, we have garlic. This is a surprise I'm going to show you after the dry. We have chopped chive, chopped parsley, and kind of like a French twist. We have endive. We're going to see what we're going to do with it. We have roasted pecans with a silan that is made from, silan is actually honey that's made from dates and olive oil. You have the recipe with you. And we have thyme. We have basil. We have cherry tomatoes. We have chopped dates. We have peas here that we're going to use for decoration. We have strawberries that we chopped very nicely. We have figs. We have blueberries, which represent in many ways Toronto, in many ways North America, but actually you can find it also in Israel. And I think actually we can start. Anyhow, in terms of the cauliflower, I'm sure that you heard about the very well-known chef, Israeli chef. His name is Eyal Shani. He became, by the way, very well-known also in North America. He has two, if I'm not mistaken, two restaurants in New York, in Paris, and of course in Israel. He's all over the map. And what he did, and I think actually Shani and I very much identify with his philosophy. He really said, I'm going to give pride actually to the vegetables, and especially when it comes to cauliflower. So what he say, and we actually, it's our own interpretation to Eyal Shani one, as I said, we call it machnira cauliflower. We're going to take the cauliflower.
And leave it as is.
We're going to boil water. And we're going to dip it for 5 minutes, literally for 5 minutes in hot water with one spoon of salt, of sea salt. Okay?
I don't know what it is.
In the meantime, until it's going, so let's count 5 minutes. In the meantime, until the cauliflower, you don't want to overcook it, because the moment you overcook it, it becomes very mushy. We want it to be crunchy, the cauliflower, and also to be well presented. And as we mentioned in the recipe, that it will be very well presented in the cake plate. We're going to put it actually on Friday dinner, and not only Friday dinner, and actually every dinner is a holiday for us. but we're going to use actually a cake plate. So, Shani?
So we're, like we said, we're kind of jumping for the two recipes because they are connected to each other and we have to wait until the cauliflower is ready. So we're jumping now to the Tu B'Shvat salad. So in our Tu B'Shvat salad, we also use roasted peppers. So we pre-cooked some peppers.
Maybe show them the pot. By the way, this is honestly a magic pot. I don't know if you have one like this. Never, by the way, you don't have to scratch it after you cook. It's great, really, really great. Yeah.
So you roast them in the oven for about 10 to 20 minutes, depending how big the pepper is. Iman, what degree do you cook it on? 380?
380, yeah.
So basically, you'll see the peppers start getting like a cooked.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you let it sit after you take it out from the oven, and you let it sit because it's very hot. You let it sit for like 10, 15 minutes to cool off.
Yeah, cover it.
Or even just put it aside.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that after they cool down, it's very easy to peel off the skin. Now, it's not that you can't eat the skin, you can, but we just like the texture a lot better. Since I was little, my mom used to make her famous roasted pepper salad for any meal, whether it's brunch, dinner, or any meal. So basically what we're gonna do now, we already peeled some of them to save some time. So this is what it looks like after it's peeled.
Look how beautiful it is.
And we're gonna chop them together so we can start preparing the peppers.
Okay. So Shani, you're gonna chop it?
Yeah. So you can cut it however thin, thick you want. We recommend to do it relatively thin, just because it's easier to then eat it with your fork. So I'm just gonna cut it into strips. You can use all sorts of color. We use the red ones. We actually even have a product called Magic Red, just because of the beautiful color the red peppers give. So for this situation, we used red, but you can use yellow, orange, whatever you feel like.
Okay. While Shani's actually chopping the peppers, I'm going to prepare the tahini. I'm sure you know how to make tahini, but I just want to show you. We have half a cup of tahini base here, and we actually mix it with lemon juice, with fresh lemon juice. Look at the
Do you
beautiful
want to
lemons
show
that
them
we
the
have here.
tahina we use?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mix it a little bit. I mix the tahini. We use actually kosher one. I'm sure. Thank you, Davin. And I'm sure you can find one in Miami and obviously in Israel. Israel is the capital for tahini.
So we used Achva. In Israel, of course, any supermarket. In Miami, there's so many Israelis. I'm sure it's also easy to find. But for us, any super that sells products from Israel carries this tahini. So yeah. Half a cup of tahini.
Half a cup of tahini with about maybe less than a third of a cup of fresh lemon juice. I'm going to use 2 garlic cloves. Okay. And I'm going to use a magic mix.
Sorry for the noise for a second.
I'm going to use about a third of a cup of olive oil. Look how beautiful it is. I always use extra virgin olive oil, right? And about maybe half a teaspoon of salt, but I'm actually using my fingers. Like that. It doesn't have to be very salty. And first of all, I'm going to mix first of all the garlic.
So first we're letting the olive oil, the lemon juice, and the garlic and the salt. We're blending it together.
Half a cup of water.
The reason why we do it separately is because we find that sometimes the garlic doesn't blend or doesn't crush. Doesn't chop well. Yeah, it doesn't chop well. So we don't want to have big pieces of garlic in our mouth, unless you like to eat it like that, but it's just too strong. So we prefer to do it separate. It's an extra step, but we recommend it.
I want to show you how it looks. It looks beautiful. Look at this. No garlic crushes. Okay. I'm going to put it back. And I'm adding slowly. I'm adding the tahini. Tahini base. Tahini base with fresh lemon juice. And I'm going to blend it.
Oh, what happened?
Well, I think whoever started screen sharing, if you can. Oh, okay, we're back. And if anybody has any questions, again, feel free to type them in the chat. The Galia and Shani will be happy to answer anything as they go along with the cooking.
So I'm just gonna wait until she's done with the noise. My mom's done with the noise.
I think actually the tahini is ready. I just want to check the flavor. It's perfect.
So actually, I have a quick question. What should the consistency of the tahini be once it's done?
So you can have it. It actually depends what you like. If you want to use it more like a sauce, then you shouldn't have it so thick. Like you'll see here.
Have a look. Now it looks diluted, but in 2 minutes, it's going to get thicker.
But again, if you want it more as a paste, like more like hummus, then we recommend to make it thicker. We're using it for this purpose to spread it on the cauliflower, so we don't need it as thick. That's why it's more diluted. But like my mom says, let it sit for a few minutes and you'll see once we pour it, it gets thicker.
Thank you.
So we'll put this aside for now because we don't need it until the cauliflower is ready.
Yeah.
So in the Ninja, we use it for a lot to make sauces. It's a lifesaver. We put ahead of time what we use to make the dressing for the salad and actually even the peppers. Like I told you, it's my mom's famous salad, the red peppers. So Ima, we put
it has silan. It has, you have the recipe of course, but it has silan, which is a honey that's made from date.
So it's date honey.
French mustard, cumin, basil, fresh rosemary, of course salt, fresh lemon juice. But you're going to add a little bit more of the basil.
So you can find them, you don't have to necessarily buy fresh herbs, but we strongly recommend if you want the aroma of flavors and smell, like our kitchen right now, if you could smell all the herbs, it's just such a fun smell to smell. So we definitely recommend to use fresh herbs.
Beautiful. We've already got 2 of the, I think 7 species. We've got the dates from the Silouan, the date honey, and we've got the what was the other thing you had? Not the peppers, the olive oil from the olives.
I'm gonna use them. It's gonna be all of them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little noisy, so sorry about that.
I'm going to check the cauliflower.
I think we're good.
I've got one more question about the cauliflower. So when you put it into the water, should the water be boiling or just hot?
It doesn't have to be boiling, but hot. And then, but do make sure the pot is filled because the cauliflower is a big item in a pot. So just make sure it's all covered so it's cooked.
Thank
But
you.
like we said, we don't want it to be too soft because then it gets mushy and it does get cooked more in the oven. So no need for it. It's just to have the first cook of it.
I don't know how much you can see what I do with the cauliflower. I kind of like, I circulate, I turn it in circle that it will literally all, cauliflower is actually flour. It is a flour, cauliflower. But the one actually is it will observe the water and the salt. If you cook it without salt, it wouldn't be as tasty as it is. The salt really kind of like mix and match between the flours. I think we're almost ready, Shani. Maybe we can
Yeah.
now the.
So our dressing is ready, and to kind of let the red peppers sit in the dressing and absorb all the flavors in our dressing, we're just gonna pour it into our plate and let it sit until we start plating our tu bishvat salad. So I'm just gonna...
I wish you could smell because you really, really smell all the beautiful, beautiful fresh herbs. You can try, of course, to use dry herbs, but
Yeah,
it's not the
told
same.
them.
Yeah, it's not the same.
No.
Okay, so maybe Shani, you started using like the light.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we can actually start plating our salad because our salads in our house get lots of volume here. It's an activity itself. So we recommend to pick a plate that you guys love and obviously want to show off. We use this salad because it's big. We recommend round more than square or any other shape. It's just the way all the vegetables and fruits play together. It just displays a lot nicer. So we're going to use this round plate. And I'm going to start with the arugula. So basically, the first tip from us when you start plating your salad, look at it as like a clean canvas and feel free to use your imaginary and creativity to just play and have fun. So I'm going to take the arugula and I'm going to start.
Let me interrupt you for 1 second. I'm going to take the cauliflower.
Oh, okay. So the cauliflower is ready. So we're going to put it now on a pan and start and let it go in the oven.
Yeah.
Ima, do you want to put the olive oil in the za'atar?
Yeah.
So we're going to put, sorry for jumping, but we're going to put now a little bit of olive oil just to let it absorb.
We're going to brush it like a paint, like painting.
This is a work of art, really.
And now we're going to take our za'atar and we're going to put it on the cauliflower. So it's obviously meant for flavor, but also for color. The za'atar, you'll see, it also gives it color. And sumac, of course. So like my mom said, the sumac has a lemony flavor. So if you don't like too much lemony, be careful because it is a pretty strong herb.
You don't need much because after that you're going to see, we're going to put it actually, when we put it on the cake plate, we definitely will use more za'atar and more sumac. So wish us good luck and we're going to put it in the oven, okay? So, okay, bye cauliflower.
Okay, so let's go back to the salad.
So now it's 12:30, like I would say maybe 7 to 10 minutes, but I'm going to wash it. Okay.
So we're going to just start kind of making basically a circle of all the arugula. Now, if you don't like arugula, you can use chopped lettuce. You can use mixed leaves. Right? You say leaves?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a spring mix.
Yes, like a spring mix. So really whatever you feel. we do recommend arugula. It just goes, in our opinion, really well with everything we put together, but it's really up to you. So now,
Chocolate. I'm gonna get the chopping block.
here, I'll move this here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take the endives. Ima, where's the knife? Oh, it's here.
Find it?
Yeah. And I'm just gonna cut off the head. And basically we use these, I like to call it like pearls. Like we put these in the middle of our salad. So again,
Maybe put it here since she avoids that.
no, but I need, because if we need the chopping
Yes,
board.
gonna be not with that. Okay.
So just again, I'm wrapping, maybe I'll use one more.
Now I have a question in terms of fresh herbs. Where would you recommend getting them? Do you just get them at the supermarket? Do you grow your own? Are there any other sources that you can recommend?
So we actually have, even in our kitchen, ones that like we just grow, but we definitely buy them at a local market or supermarket, Whole Foods.
Whole food.
If you lived in Israel, then I would go to the market. They have the best, but it's really up to you what you prefer, because you do need them handy because they need to be fresh. So now after we're done putting them in the center, another famous
We actually, it's
topping my
not,
mom makes.
yeah, it's not, we didn't include it in the recipe, but we use it very often for dessert, for main courses, side dishes. It's actually roasted pears that we marinate with silan, honey of dates, olive oil, mustard, and fresh herbs, and it's delicious. It's really, really great. What you have to do is just have to chop them very finely, roast them in the oven for about 10 minutes, let it cool, and just keep it in the fridge. It can keep for at least 2 weeks, and it's a multi-purpose, like you can use it for everything. We love it, really. And Shani gonna spread a little bit. Okay?
Did you say that's pears?
Yes, pears.
Wow. Looks beautiful.
So again, it's really a matter of preference, how much sweetness you like in your salad. That's why I said the arugula blends very well with everything, because it kind of lessens the sweetness in the salad. So in our opinion, you can never go wrong with a sweet salad.
Beautiful, Shani.
Especially for Tu B'Shvat. Yeah. So we said before, we also use this the grains. You can use basically you can use any grain you want. You can use quinoa, you can use wild rice. We happen to really like these grains just because they add another texture. They're crunchy. We cook them in hot water for about 10-15 minutes. It's up to you how soft you want them. We leave them relatively crunchy. So I'm just going to start plating it basically around the arugula. But again, there's no rule. So if you want to put them in the center, put them in the center. Like each time we kind of switch things off. And
but I can tell you, you need more, Shani? No, you okay?
No,
but I can tell you one thing, Shani and I can discuss maybe for hours how to decorate even just our lunch. And that's actually the fun. When you cook, really enjoy it. And do not cook when you're not happy. Always cook when you're happy.
Like our husband, my dad, my husband, my sister's husband, my brother, every time we have big meals, they're like, what's going on? It's like you're cooking for 10 people. But that's just how we like. We like to have a feast, even if we don't eat meat, even if it's just vegetables. We like to give it their presence and to make any meal special, especially now when we're home, right? There's nothing else to do.
Absolutely. It's the Jewish way to cook for a crowd.
Yes. So I'm going to take, remember our red peppers. So after we let them sit for a few minutes, we're gonna put them now in the center of our salad.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. My mother, that is actually right in the screen in Israel, in Jerusalem, she always taught us, Shani and I, when you cook, always make sure that you keep your environment clean, and use the most beautiful dishes that you can. And the food actually, literally, I really feel that the food has some, I don't know, maybe some, it feels us. So I think that's where Shani got it from. Yeah.
Mhm.
An aesthetic experience, not just for the taste buds, but also for the eyes, for everything, all the senses.
Strawberry, Shani?
Yeah, okay, so we'll take now the strawberries. So we pre-cut them pretty equally, and I'm gonna put them around the outside perimeter, and I'm just gonna wrap the entire bowl with strawberries. So again, of course it adds sweetness, but it also adds
You wanted to chop
color.
the figs?
Yeah.
I'm going to chop actually in circles the figs, the fresh figs that we have.
So we have a couple comments from our chat. Gilly Merker says, wow, this is so beautiful. You make cooking so exciting. I love to see how passionate you are. It's wonderful and you are so inspiring.
Oh, we miss Gila. She's in Israel.
She's right in Shenkin Street in Tel Aviv.
Wow.
We miss you, Gila.
Fresh figs are something that we don't always have so often here, but it's so wonderful. If you've never tasted a fresh fig, you should definitely go and seek one out. I remember in Jerusalem, there used to be fig trees just in the neighborhood, and you can just go and pick them.
Yeah, so my mom actually went, she went especially to go look for fresh figs. And I think she ended up finding them at Whole Foods, but yeah, it's definitely hard to find them here.
So can you use, if you can't find fresh figs, would you recommend using dried figs, or is there something you could substitute for them?
Yes, definitely you can use dry figs, or you can use...
Definitely, yeah. It's actually use your imagination, definitely, yeah. I want to share with you also why Shani is decorating the salad in terms of the roasted peppers. It's we have 2 daughters and a son, Aviv, Shani, and Itai. Both Aviv and Shani, they were lone soldiers, and they happen to really, really love this magic red roasted peppers. When they were in the army, I could never make the roasted peppers at home because I couldn't eat it without them. It's not the same. And now it became like one of the major item actually in our kitchen home. And I hope that one day Shani will pass it to her own children. So it's like goes generation from generation. Anyhow, you have the figs, Shani, maybe put them here.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna put the figs in the heart of our salad.
And I'm checking the cauliflower. I think I'm smelling it. It smells really, really good.
Stunning.
So the thing about figs is that they have a short life because once they get very soft, they get very mushy. So try to use figs that are fresh and haven't been sitting in your kitchen for a long time, because this one I'm noticing is like borderline smushy. Now we have our pomegranate. We love pomegranate. I think any Israeli will testify the same. We use it on anything, whether it's yogurt, whether it's
a
chalva or
rice,
a meat dish. It adds color, flavor, texture. So I'm just gonna spread it around our salad.
Thank you, Gavin.
The more colors, the better.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stunning.
It is to be creative, definitely. We wanted also, we picked up ingredient that symbolize Tu B'Shvat. And of course we have chopped dates. Okay.
Yeah, the dates and the pomegranates, again, some of the 7 species.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
So here we have roasted pine nuts. My mom uses them again, same as the pomegranate on any of the dishes we make. We roast them on a pan. They burn very easily, so be gentle, right?
At the old days in Jerusalem, we used to go to Jerusalem mountains with the kids and with my father, that also he's behind the screen there. And we used to, right actually near Herzl Mountain. And we used to find, like, that was actually a game that we had on Saturday, like looking for the pine and smash them and
with rocks. I
Yeah.
remember
and
it was
get
so
this
much
beautiful,
fun.
beautiful pine nuts. So
Wow. Wow.
I think we're almost done, Shini. No, what about the blueberries?
The
Oh,
pecans.
yeah, the pecan nuts. Yes. Okay. With the pecan nuts that you have also the recipe for them. Basically, it's pecan nuts with Ceylon and very little, kind of like a splash of olive oil, and it's very crunchy. When you roast them, you have to make sure that first of all it's so hot. The Ceylon, you can really burn. So you have right away, pour it on a baking sheet, let it cool, but make sure that you spread each one of them, otherwise they stick together. But then you can keep them in a jar for, I would say at least a month. But
I don't think they'll keep
yeah,
them.
nobody will resist them because they're so tasty. They're really, really crunchy. Okay.
So I'm gonna put them in the center here.
And your blog, do you also include some of the stories, like your stories from growing up and finding the...
Definitely. My mom has so many stories about childhood memories. And I think any dish that she makes involves a memory. So 100%.
Wonderful.
And another North American addition is our blueberries. It's not a must, but we happen to think that it adds. So I'm just gonna put some on our salad. We're almost done.
I'm posting the link to Galia and Shani's food blog in the chat. I would definitely encourage you to check it out, as well as their Instagram page.
Shani, I love it.
Yes, it's
I
beautiful.
really do. You want to put some dressing over?
Yeah, so we have our dressing where our peppers sat in, and then we'll just slowly start spreading it on our salad. You can, I guess.
And I'm going to spread a little bit of chive, Shani, okay?
Yeah.
You mind? That's a chopped chive.
Who's coming for lunch?
We all need to invite a crowd now. So beautiful. Maybe for Shabbat. Or even just for our own families in quarantine or social distancing.
But in Miami, you guys have so many Israelis, so I'm sure there's so many Israeli restaurants, right?
There are several, yeah, absolutely. We're lucky here. We've got a bunch of Israeli grocery stores and restaurants and...
Okay, I think we're good. So I just put
Perfect.
the dressing on our salad. And I think we're done.
Woo. That's our salad. That's our Tu B'Shvat salad.
Wow, beautiful. Look at those colors, stunning.
Thank you. Shani, you're amazing. Every time I see it, I love you even more. Every time.
Love you.
Okay, so I think the cauliflower is ready. We're going to have the cake plate. And show you. That's our cauliflower.
Wow,
Okay.
it's steaming hot. Look at that.
Actually, the za'atar and the sumac. But we need actually, and I want to show you also what we did today. We had actually catering this morning, and we roasted actually pita with za'atar and olive oil. So we're going to use actually the it's actually beautiful, beautiful olive oil, and we're gonna pour it over and use our brush. And can you spread the za'atar? Yeah, okay.
So we're gonna put fresh za'atar.
And sumac. And we try to wash, of course, our calories, but we're going to put a little bit of olive oil around it, not so much. Olive oil is good for you, so like this. And then, yeah, we're going to spread also. It doesn't have to be evenly, just play around it. We're going to put the pine nuts over the plate. Everything to parsley.
I'll put the tahini first.
Yeah.
So remember our tahini, or tahina, how we say.
Become thicker.
It's a bit thicker now. So we're gonna slowly drizzle it on top of the cauliflower.
Wow.
You like it?
Amazing.
I'm going to spread over chopped parsley.
Now, do you have any recommendations about, what to serve this with? These dishes?
Pomegranate.
What plates?
Like what main dishes or, anything else that you would require?
We use our cauliflower as our main dish, like not as a starter. I mean, it could be a starter, but
right.
Pomegranate and chive.
We cut it literally into like cake pieces or even like a loaf of meat. Or
it's a great vegan
cauliflower, but we want to show you why we love it so much and why we call it actually, first of all, why we call it cauliflower. The cauliflower, obviously, from the days we used to live in Israel and Jerusalem, my hometown, Shani's hometown, and why we put it actually on a cake plate, because you can cut it exactly like a cake.
Wow.
Have a look. And then if you're lucky, you get the first piece. Yeah.
Look at that.
It is really, really great because you use the tahini and the olive oil and all the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful herbs, and it tastes so delicious.
It's such a statement piece as well to have something like that on the table and bringing it out with the steaming and the pomegranates and all the.
Yes.
So that's our small token for Tu B'Shvat.
Wow.
And we hope you guys
learned a thing or two, and learned a thing or two from us, or maybe kind of made you guys click one or two ingredient together and maybe try them at home. Not even these dishes, but maybe even something that works.
Absolutely. Gorgeous. Very inspiring.
Do you have any questions? I'm sorry that again you cannot come over for dinner, but you are in our heart and soul, And we do hope that one day we will be able to celebrate together, as we say in Hebrew, B'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim, next year.
Amen.
Yes.
Next year in Jerusalem, we have some comments from Abby Mandel. She says, thank you, looks amazing. Gili says, bravo, kol hakavod, chag sameach. I think I speak on behalf of everyone when I say I'm so inspired just seeing all the amazing colors and textures, and also the use of vegetables and fruits in such a creative way. It's just really, really beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you so, so much, Galia and Shani. This has been an amazing experience. Again, such a treat for Tu B'Shvat, using all these beautiful fruits and vegetables. And again, your amazing creative recipes, really a taste of Israel, a taste of Jerusalem. Mamash, you know, from Machane Yehuda, from the markets, to your kitchen in Miami and Toronto, wherever you might be. I want to thank you so, so much for spending the time with us and sharing your amazing recipes with us. Again, I'd encourage everybody to check out their food blog at Galia Loves Food. I posted the link. I'll also send it out as an email along with the recording of this session, and check them out on Instagram. Galia is also working on a cookbook, which is really exciting. So keep your ears open for that. And again, I want to wish everyone Tu B'Shvat Sameach, happy Tu B'Shvat. Thank you again so much, Galia and Shani. Thank you all for joining us in the middle of your busy workday, and we hope to see you soon.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. And I want also again to extend our thanks to you, Bonnie, to Tamar, to Robert, my husband, to Davin, our good friend, amazing friend, and to each one of you. We miss you, we love you, and keep cooking, right,
Yeah,
Shani?
keep cooking, have fun, be creative, use colors, use fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and stay healthy.
Stay healthy. That's a message.
Amen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.